Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. Tuesday, January the 22nd. These are the charts of the day. Tough day in Wall Street. We're not as surprised as we might have been, but and the market was definitely overdue for a pullback, consolidation, retest, etc. But let's talk about some stocks, both long and short, that did well and did not do well. On the long side, the marijuana stocks, several of them woke up and had a little bit of a good day. Let's look at APHA for starters. It popped, got above the 50, closed below it, a little bit of a concern. Still in a rising pattern. Is it a large ascending channel or a large, bear flag? I doubt it's a flag. It looks like a channel to me. That's why it's now and it has been a currently swing trade. Now look at the recent pullback. Nice orderly pullback on low volume. Then the volume picked up a little bit on Friday. Today it popped above the moving average, finished back down again below it. There is a gap to fill a little bit above here. That gap fills at about 808. We get through that, we might see something around 8.5, maybe even 9.5, 9.25 would be my near-term target. If we can get above that 50, I think things change in general. And look at the underlying technicals; they've been improving. So let's go with that and keep our eyes tabbed. Obviously, CGC is also something we've been looking at closely and swinging. When it broke out above the 50 again, it ran up beautifully. Look at the consolidation that's taking place. It's a nice one. I like the look of it. Getting a little wider, which is what I want to see. It's some consolidation of length. I'm thinking that the angle of ascent might be something like that. And this is the key. If we can get this over 46.5, this could rocket into the low to mid 50s. And that's what I would look for potentially. But keep in mind that 40.5 is triple intraday support from last week. So this could be an interesting platform that's being built and a support level. Stay tuned. The third marijuana stock I'm highlighting today is CRON, which has actually made a new all-time high. Pretty impressive in this group in terms of relative strength. Now, did it close well? No, it didn't close great. It was only up 17 cents and finished about $1 off the high. So that's never a good thing. And perhaps the angle of ascent looks like something like that and like that in terms of the channel. So what I would look for is for this to be holding around that level. This pullback low is kind of important right now for me. Also, the gap here at about the 14, let's call it 1390, 14 is support immediately, and beneath that is 1270. But I have a target up around 18.5 short term. It's getting a little long in the tooth before it gets a more substantial consolidation. But look at this channel that I've drawn. This is pretty powerful, and if this works its way up to the top of the channel, it could be a $20 stock. A stock that popped on my screen today, ARPO, AirPO Pharmaceuticals, which had come out back in June and was traded about 4.5, eventually dropped down $1.50. But you can see it exploded in the last 3 weeks, taking it from, like I said, $1.50 to about $3.75. Still a cheapie, still a low price stock in general, but it did get out over this resistance level today in particular, and which impresses me. I think the stock has good designs on 4.25 coming up, and then maybe new all-time highs. AXCM put a swing on it a week ago when it pulled back and consolidated, and now it's been moving up a little bit. Volume is not strong enough to break it out yet, but if it does get that pop over 915, this could be a 12, 12.5, even $13 stock. Federal Home Loan and Fannie Mae both have been running lately when on rumors that the government may be releasing them, and you can see that just in the last 2.5 weeks, the stock's gone from about $1 to almost $3. Today, trading 17.7 million, pop as high as 285 before backing off 34 cents. So we'll see if it consolidates in that zone of wave 4. This is 1, 2, and that's 3. We might see a wave 4 as this has already reached the top of the channel. Going forward, let's see if that holds that 242 level, backs and fills in here, and maybe makes a move up towards $4. And here's Fannie Mae, similar chart. This pattern also indicates a rising channel with a wedge in wave 2. The wave 3 target looks like that could be the angle of ascent. If we can get a little consolidation here for a few days, maybe we can get this to run up to 4 as well. Swing trade IO accelerated through resistance today. I wanted you to see the volume was strong too. It's now above this little mini quadruple top area. And there is some resistance at about 11 3/4, but I think it makes it to about 12.5 and then 14.5, 15, provided the angle of ascent is maintained. But with that channel, you may even see that stock get into the high teens. Look at the volume coming in on it. It's above the moving averages and crossing over. Very good. Well, gold stock and favorite of a long time now, KL, new all-time high with a pop of $1.30 or almost 5%. It was highlighted today and recommended with a $44 target, believe it or not. So I'll maintain my near-term target, 32.3. Pollo Loco, wow, is this doing well of late? After it came public, it certainly had the big pop and then dropped hard over the last couple of years. You can see the weekly chart shows where the stock was right after the IPO at 41.70, only to come back down into that 910 range. Now, after a big base developed, you can see it broke out, pulled back, flag, is moving again. I would look for Pollo Loco to extend towards 20, with targets of 20, 21.75 coming up as a potential. TAL swing trade's acting well. It popped out above resistance today. I think it has legs to get up to about 33 and then 36. Those are my targets. Today it popped another $1 or 3.35%. Volume was a solid 6.2 million. TMDI thinly traded, but did have about 858,000 today. You can see the volume picked up a lot in the last 2-3 weeks, and particularly the OBV is really surging. So after an explosive move from $1 to 3.5 or so, it pulled back, flag for 4 days, and then bombed away again. You can see that there's some resistance here, but this might very well make a move towards the $6 range if this keeps up. Good momentum. Now, on the ultra shorts, obviously the market got hit hard. The ultra shorts, TVIX, UVXY, ramping up as the VIX spikes. Popped out of the falling wedge today. And if this thing follows through at all, you may see this run up towards the 23.5 and 26 zone, which would take these two and really run them up for more than just today. Now, usually I only day trade them, but when they make these big turns like they did there or there, the direction changes dramatically, and the stock will often tend to, or this ETF will often tend to make a more important, more dramatic type move. I'm kind of looking for it now, but provided that the market cooperates and continues down for a few days, we'll see. If that occurs, we should see 56.7 and maybe as high as 63.4 in the coming days. The other one is UVXY, same thing, pop breakout near the 50. If it extends, look for something in the 70, 73 range, and then maybe possibly move up towards 79. I'm going to go with 73 and 79 as targets. That's the short side. I mean the long side. Let's take a look at the short side, as there are several of the box of shorts that I wanted to show you. ADP, well, this rising wedge right to the declining tops line near the neckline is the perfect place to short the stock if it doesn't work. And today was down 201 or 1.5% as volume picked up a little bit. Well, let's see if this one's able to break down. If it does, this is a topping pattern looking like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder breakdown, neckline retest, moving average rolling over. You can see what looks like a declining tops line and a target down about 111, 113 zone. Beta rolling over, looking pretty ugly if you ask me. Quite frankly, right now it looks to me like that's the wider angle, and the near-term angle tells me that if this rolls over, a test of 15.5 and then eventually 13 might take place. CRSP got up to and a little bit above the declining tops line, but I'll go with this because of these two tops that connect right there with this line. So for me, it rolled over hard today, down 405 or 11%, and it might not be good if it gets any lower than where it was near today's low. Qterra, pretty ugly rising wedge again. This one might have broken as well today, maybe. In either case, the stock dropped back about 3.3%, and a rollover here could take this lower even down to $11. CVNA was put on as a swing today because of wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wave 4 being a rising wedge. The volume, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 days in the last week and a half, it was unable to pop above 37.25. And today it rolled over a bit, down $1.26 at 3.4%. Maybe breaking out wedge, and if so, my target is going to be a retest of 28 and then down to 24.5 range. EDIT got slam dunk for 20% and really broke hard with a breakaway gap, which doesn't usually have a one-day move, particularly in that kind of volume. I'm looking for a retest of 18. We might see something in the mid-teens. Grubhub put on as a swing trade today. I just like this pattern as a short. The overall picture looks like this. The internal trend line shows that it failed a couple times right here, not only where the internal trend lines are, but where the 50-day moving averages as well, and it broke down below the 10-day today. So for me, a retest of 68 is probable, and possible is 56, 58. ARMD broke that wedge in a big time. This is a tech trader swing short. Today's drop of 215 or 8.3%, even though it did bounce off of support, which comes in around 22 and a quarter. I think the stock has designs of going even lower than that. So we'll see. But for me, the fifth wave down has started, and we may be headed to the high teens, 17, 18 range. MED with a rising wedge. You can see the declining tops line. The parallel line shows the possibilities are that it still could rally a little bit higher. So my stop would be about 100, up above 133.35, but this feels to me like this may be headed lower towards 95 to 100. MIME also backed off the declining tops line as a big wedge, maybe coming down. If it does, look for a retest of 29.5, 25.5. CINA, another bear flag in here. This one broke the bear flag today. And for me, this stock appears to be headed lower. I'm going to basically look for this stock to make a run down towards the high 40s. Taylor Brands, TLRD, which broke its big top with a breakaway gap here, came up to the gap with a bear flag, then came down hard. It looks to be like this may be headed towards 10. TSEM also in a very bearish phase. Multiple bottoms, looks like they were taken out today right there. And if this continues to fall, look where the target would be down in this one, around 11.5. And finally, Weight Watchers continues to lose weight. It looks terrible. This stock barely rallied at all, barely bounced at all during the rally phase, and is now immediately heading lower. Down nearly 2 points today, or about 6%. We may see the stock in the mid-20s before not too long. Folks, that's it for tonight. Let's have a good day tomorrow. Good night.